He's a graduate of the Maleh Film School of Arts in Jerusalem, which is a religious film school. Please welcome Miya Hatav. Miya, thank you so much. Also to join the conversation is the executive director of Footsteps, Lani Santo, who is Footsteps is an organization that provides support for people leaving or who have left the Orthodox community. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of relevant elements here. And to lead the conversation, please welcome back Noah Landau. Thank you very much, Noah.
Hi, good evening. So we'll start with you, Miya. This is not just a story, right? This is also something that comes from your own personal experience. Would you like to share with us?
You can be specific. You want to I tell the story? Okay. So, I grown up in Israel in the religious family, really Orthodox family, and this is the story that it's really autobiographic. It's some adaptation to my life and my point of view in Israel. What I took it too far, but it's really my story. That's it. I have a lot of details, but I want to ask you if everybody is speaking only in English, or maybe can I speak a little in Hebrew?
No Hebrew, sorry.
We'll help you if you...
Okay, sorry.
So when we spoke a few days ago, you told me that you had your own personal experience with someone that you cared about, and you thought, what would make my parents accept him? And that's kind of what also led you to this movie, right?
Yeah, my story is when I still religious, I flew to India to travel, and I meet a guy, and we fall in love with each other, and Israeli guy, and I don't know that he is non-Jewish, and when I realized that he is not Jewish, so I love him, so I stay with him, and we come together to Israel. And my family really like them, and they want to stay together. And my mother all the time put him a kippah, and he's not Jewish. And we think what the situation. I think what the situation that if I tell her and all of my family that he is not Jewish, she can accept and love him. Adain, you know. Then I start to write this movie, and then I think maybe if I by to die or something, maybe then I can tell my mother, okay, he's not Jewish, and maybe then she can accept him. And this is my start point to write this.
And then in the movie, you actually switch between the characters. It was important for you that a woman leads the story. Why?
Yeah, because for me, the woman that be הדמות המרכזית הפועלת.
The main character.
זה היה הדבר הטבעי, פשוט הפכתי ביניהם כדי לגרום לדמות הנשית להיות זאת שפועלת, וכך היה לי יותר קל להתחבר אליה, ובעצם אולי ועמל, שניהם בעצם מייצגים צד מסוים בי. אולי הוא העיניים העצומות, הוא האיש שבעצם שוכב שם ומחולל את הסיטואציה מתוך המקום הזה השקט השוכב, ועמל היא הדמות הפועלת, ולכן החלטתי להחליף ביניהם, כי את הדמות הפועלת יכולתי יותר להתחבר אליה ולחולל את השינוי בסיטואציה.
I'll try to translate. For her, both of the characters are a part of her identity in some way, but it was important for her that the leading character would be the woman that's acting, and she identified with the woman as the one that kind of drives the plot. we can also see in the movies that in the movie that there are a lot of shots of the sky, which probably obviously you're referring to God. So he's very in the movie, metaphorically, and also as a character in the film. Is he also a part of your life now, although you left religious life?
No, it's of course part of my life. Sorry, never. כל התסריט הזה הוא מאוד מאוד רוחני, okay? יש איזה בין העולמות, זה לא רק בין העולמות, בין שתי אנשים, בין הבחורה הערבייה לבחורה היהודייה.
It's a very spiritual film. It's not only between the worlds of the man and the woman, it's also between both of the worlds.
כן, בין העולמות זה בעצם גם העולם העליון והעולם התחתון, ואני מדברת הרבה על הנשמה ועל המקום הזה של הסרט מתחיל עם המקום של הנשמה בוחרת את ההורים שלה, ובעצם מה ההבדל בינינו, לבין כל אחד אחר בעולם.
There's a big part in the movie about the soul and what is the difference between people and why should there be a difference between people, right? And also we spoke about it earlier, in the eyes of God.
Yes, the eyes of God, like you look at the God, and when I shoot the Uli, the guy, always I took the frame of God look them. Okay,
that's interesting. I didn't think about that. That's a very interesting point. So let's join the conversation, and I imagine that this kind of story might be not as typical to the world of people who kind of live religious life. It's not always that dramatic. Sometimes it's only the little stories. What is your experience with, maybe we can talk about the relationship between parents and their children who live the religious life?
Sure. This is a question at Footsteps that we get a lot, and just to give folks a framework about what it is that we do, we support and affirm individuals and families who choose to leave Haredi communities. Most of our experiences here in New York. And people often ask this question about family and relationships to family. It's like, I don't know how much speaking you do. It's the first question or the second question that gets asked, like, what's your connection to your family now? And I think that there's an assumption out there that it's very black and white. I mean, that it's a very black and white set of relationships, that it's all or nothing, and that most people, especially some of the more public stories out there, are ones that people talk about not having much of a relationship with their family. But, we've served over 1,200 people in our 13 years of existence, and most of them have some relationship with their family. The real piece that's complicated is, it's all about what the desire is, right? Like on both sides, there has to be a desire from both sides. The mother in the film said, well, we made choices and he made choices, right? And so there needs to be drivers there, and usually it's one parent that's driving, often the mother, actually. Interestingly enough, you saw this, we hear this from a lot of our members. And then the other big thing is that people have a hard time showing up, even if they have a relationship, as who they really are, their authentic selves. And I think that that's what's hardest for people, that they can't share necessarily the most intimate details of their lives.
So I also grew up in a religious family in Jerusalem, and I actually, when we spoke, we realized that our high schools weren't that far away. Spiritually and physically in Jerusalem. So actually my experience is that usually the question about connections with the family is the second one. The first one is always, when did it happen? When did you stop being religious?
The question is, they're still religious?
Are you still connected to your Judaism? No, that's the first question. In spaces like this often. But yeah, when did you leave, or when was there a moment?
It's interesting because, people think that there is this one moment when, suddenly you don't see God, like the moment when usually, you see God in the movies. But it's not always the case, right?
Of course, it's not. People, it's so עולם כל כך מורכב, והבחירות שלנו בתור אנשים כל כך מורכבות, להכניס את זה לתוך את הדתי, את הלא דתי, זה מאוד מצומצם. אני בתוכי...
The world is so complicated and it's really tough to just put everything in small boxes.
ואני פשוט, העולם של הרוח והעולם של הקשר ליהדות, יש קשר ליהדות, אבל אני בטח לא אלך וירגיש זה עליונות על אדם אחר שהוא לא יהודי.
There is a connection to Judaism, but it doesn't mean necessarily that you look differently on someone that is not Jewish. That's not the issue.
כן, והדת בתור מקום שהוא מאוד מגביל בעיניי. אני חושבת שיש איזושהי ביקורת מצד אחד, מצד שניסיתי גם להראות את האהבה שלי לה, והכבוד שלי ליהדות ולדת.
So there's criticism on religion obviously in the film, but you also try to show your love to it.
And respect.
And respect. Yeah. Okay, are there any questions from the audience?
Being what you've experienced. Being what you've experienced, would you date non-Jewish men again, or?
So I married 2 months. So I married to Jewish guy. Oh, but it doesn't
Hello,
matter
nice
for me.
Jewish boy.
Yeah.
Hi, I love the movie. You did a terrific job, and the photography is excellent also. So, I have a weird question to ask you. I'm Israeli too, but if you would have to write the second part of the movie,
Nice question.
do you have anything you're thinking about something? Kind of continuation.
What do you want to know? What the part is?
How does it end?
Part two.
We have to know.
He wakes up.
This is I think this question, it's not really important. The most important thing that if she come back or not. I think you need to answer me what you feel if she come back or not. It's really interesting if you want to answer me.
Who thinks she will come back? Who thinks she won't? Oh wow, that's a very optimistic.
Wow. So I glad because it's really good for me that you feel that she come back. I think so too. Yeah. Because being a change and she need to think about everything because she changed, but love is love, and I really believe, because if I don't believe in love, I don't make it this movie. This is my
While we're doing this survey for a moment here, just because we're at the JCC in Manhattan, I'm very interested in these progressive thoughts. A lot of you think, because you're very hopeful, that they will get back together. Do you approve of this relationship? How many of you approve of the relationship? Wow.
That just became more interesting.
I'm interested in knowing what your knowledge of Arabs in Israeli society was, being from a religious background. And second part, having gone to art school, even though it was Haredi, did that influence you to move away in any form by being in a more open?
It's 2 questions, so I take the second before. When I started to study at the film school, I was 20, and this is really, really important age to ask yourself who you are. So maybe I live in Jerusalem, and Jerusalem it's Arab and Jew, then Haredi, and everybody's together, so close to each other. Then I ask myself all the questions. So the answer is yes and no, because this is me. And when you make art and you ask yourself all the time questions, I think my truth is come. It's not only the movie school or. And the second, what the first? The Arab. Yeah, my connection. I took this story to the Arab and Jude because it's is the opportunity to say what I think about this subject. For me, it's the movie. It's not so politic because it's social politic. Okay, so this is what's important to me, to to look each other like the same and to figure out all the problem with the love. I think it's really naive, but it's really my beliefs. And
What about the actress? Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Maria? About Maria? What do you want to know about Maria? She Arab, yeah. She really Arab.
How did you find her?
Yeah, a lot of auditions. Maria is really special woman. Really special woman. If you know her, she. אוקיי, אני שוב אחזור לעברית. כל פעם שאני קצת מתרגשת אז קשה לי.
You're doing great. Is there anything specific you want to say about Maria?
כן, אני רוצה להגיד על מריה שגם היא בעצמה וגם אני בעצמי, המפגש בינינו היה מאוד מיוחד והיה בו משהו שבאמת כאילו הוכחנו את זה שזה אכן יכול לקרות, הייתה מין התאהבות מאוד מאוד חזקה. היא הגיעה למשפחה שלי, אני הגעתי למשפחה שלה. יש איזה חיבור אמיתי שהוא כמעט...
The connection was very special because there was also a connection between both of you actually, and she met your family and you met her family, and you actually proved that this could also work behind the camera.
נכון. Yes.
You asked us to come up with our ending, but did you struggle with the ending?
To choose the ending? Really. Because the question is if she came back or not, to show it or not. This is my really tough situation because I think when she put the phone in the bag, the moment that I stop here, the moment that the people need to answer what they feel, did she come back or not. For me, it's complicated because in the reality, it's really זה כמעט ולא הגיוני שבינה תקבל את תמל חזרה, זה כמעט סיפור אגדה.
Almost doesn't make sense that the mother will accept her back.
Okay, אמא שלי, my mother, it's far away. ורציתי שהסרט יהיה מאוד ריאליסטי, שהסוף כן יהיה בסופו של דבר קרוב למציאות, ולכן הייתה לי התלבטות, האם המציאות היא באמת שבינה יכולה לעבור כזה שינוי ולקבל את המל, או שאני רוצה להגיד רגע, אני רוצה להגיד שכן. אז ההתלבטות בין מה שאני רוצה להגיד כן, היא כן תקבל אותה חזרה, לבין המציאות האמיתית שאמא שלי בחיים לא תקבל אותה. וזה כל כך מורכב, שם עמדתי ואמרתי, אוקיי, מה אני עושה?
So I see some people did understand, but for those who didn't, this was actually your personal struggle because as much as you thought that your own mother will not act like Bina, you really wanted her to. So for you, the movie was kind of a struggle between what you thought your reality is and between what you wanted your character to go through.
כן, אני גם אוסיף עוד משהו, שאני לקחתי את הדמות של בינה וכאילו אמרתי, אוקיי, אני אטפל רגע, אני אנסה לגרום לה, איך אני משכנעת אמא שלי לעבור את השינוי הזה, וכל הזמן נתקלתי בקירות והרגשתי ממש כמו עמל, הרגשתי שאני אומרת, אוקיי, איזה סיטואציה אני אקח אותה ואני אגרום לה אולי לשנות את דעתה. וזה היה הכי רחוק שיכולתי לקחת אותה, ושם עצרתי כשהיא אומרת, אנחנו לא באמת יכולים להחליט לו מה הוא רוצה, ואוקיי.
So you didn't actually use the word therapeutic, but I will maybe. This was really important for you to try and take your own mother's character as far away as you thought is possible, but then you stopped at the point where you didn't think it was really realistic anymore.
I start and I really wanted when the people saw it, they choose.
Are there other questions?
Yes, I have a
maybe
question.
also for representative Footsteps. Or?
I have the mic. This was a beautiful film, Toda Rabba. I wondered if she was pregnant, because when she first saw him, she said, "You can't leave me now." And when they were together, he had his hand on her stomach?
A lot of people ask me that question. The truth is no, she's not pregnant. But in the beginning of the writing, I think maybe she was, okay, maybe, but החלטתי שלא, כדי שלא לעזור לבינה, בעצם להגיד, אוקיי, אני רוצה את הילד, אז אני אקבל אותה חזרה.
She decided not to because she didn't want the mother, she didn't want it to be so easy for the mother to only think about the child and not.
רציתי שהיא תעבור את זה עם המל בעצמה ולא עם הנכד שלה.
We're going to take two last questions. There's one up here and then one down here.
So I'll add my thank you. It was a lovely film. I was curious about the idea of the tikkun that you put into the film. And I know toward the end, the Bina says, we don't need a tikkun. But I'm wondering if it was just on the father, and if you think he made a tikkun, not the tikkun of the tefillin, but some other tikkun. No.
You ask if the father make the tikkun or for himself or with the son? With the son, okay. So the father tried to make a tikkun with a lot of ways. But I think Bina realized that he's start again and again to try to make a tikkun, to figure out with the tefillin and after with the chicken and Bina stopped him in the end and tell him he don't need a tikkun. So מאיר, I don't know אם הוא בעצמו עבר תיקון.
If he himself went through תיקון.
אני חושבת שהתיקון עצמו של הסיטואציה זה שבעצם הם התקרבו חזרה. מאיר שהיה מאוד מרוחק מהבן שלו, מוצא את עצמו קרוב אליו. זה התיקון של מאיר, זה לא לפחד בעצם להתקרב.
The real תיקון was the
to open the eyes
between the father and
see
the
the
son.
situation and to know, okay, all the time he's looking on the small details and it's סופר סתם, it's small details, and I think I took the mirror and opened the eyes. Okay, Meir, come on.
Look bigger.
Yeah, look bigger.
Hi, I just want to know how many siblings do you have, and you're not living an Orthodox life, and how is the relationship between you and your parents and you and your siblings?
Today.
Here's the second question.
Yes, but it's nice question. When I lived religious in the beginning, היה באמת ריחוק ובעיה. נפתח איזשהו פער בינינו, ההורים שלי מאוד התאכזבו שאני עוזבת
There's a real gap between her and her parents. They were really disappointed.
כן. ועם השנים באמת היה איזשהו תהליך כזה של חזרה מאוד מרגשת למשפחה ולהורים.
With time there was a very moving return to the family.
כן, היום מאוד מקבלים את הדרך שלי ומאוד מקבלים את המקום שלי בתוך אנחנו בקשר ממש ממש טוב.
It took.
Yes.
So she came back to be connected with her family, and they accept her now, and they're very they have a good connection.
No, I'm not, of course.
It's a mutual return, meaning
I respect them and they respect me, and really relax.
What about your siblings? Brothers?
Yeah, they are religious, everybody. I have two brothers and two sisters, and everybody.
They accept you?
I think before my parents, they accept me. They're different. My brother and sister really accept me in the beginning. My parents, it's difficult. My father still want and pray that I come back to be a religious. My mother too. Also, my mother, all the time. Maybe you know the truth, don't they? And yeah.
It's okay. My father always asked me if I went to shul on Friday night, and I keep telling him, Dad.
This is a common sense of, is there some denial? I want to just say something quickly. This is such a beautiful film, and there's an emerging genre and culture of people who are coming from ultra-Orthodox backgrounds who've transitioned and have integrated into broader society, and they have amazing voices, and you're one of them. In case people are interested in reading more, because to me, what I think is so important here, I'm glad that you spent most of the time talking, because to understand where people are coming from is vital, and even the small details of understanding points of connection to family and things like that. There's a bookmark that Footsteps put together that is a list of both memoirs and some fiction written about these journeys. That's on the table outside, and you're welcome to take it to just understand more about these journeys.
I want to say something more, because I want to tell you a little for my next movie. So
Not a sequel. It's a different movie.
yeah, it's really different movie, but it's the subject is the same. So I took the situation. I talk a lot about the religious, about the soul world. So the movie is talking about reincarnation, and I took it to the realistic, weird world. So I took the Druzian that in Israel. They really believed it's the most of the important thing in the Druzian. They believe that the soul is come back in another body 8 times, and what they really special in Druzian and this belief that they looking for the soul. מחפשים אחרי הקרובים שלהם, הגלגול הקודם.
Looking for the relatives from another life.
Yes, and
Looking
coming
forward.
next.
It sounds great. Sounds exciting.
And perfect for other Israel too. Bring in the Druze. I want to thank first of all Lani for being here and for exposing Footsteps. I think it's a great connection. Of course, Haaretz's chief translator Noah Landau. Let's.